Patrick, we're joined now in Israel by Israel's Deputy Foreign Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu. Mr. Netanyahu, thank you for joining us. Can you tell me, are Israel's armed forces still on that intense state of alert right now?
We are still in a state of preparation, both the military and, of course, the civilian rear. So far, nothing has happened. We're very happy that nothing has happened. But even though we're all watching, like the rest of the world, with appreciation, we're impressed with the early successes. We have our own experience with wars, and we know that it's, frankly, not over until it's over. So we're waiting.
Can you tell me, obviously, Jewish Israelis have to be very happy right now. There are also Arab Israelis and Palestinians who have different loyalties. The curfew, I imagine, is still imposed on the Palestinians in the occupied territories. What are you hearing about what's going on there now?
We had some minor disturbances. We don't have any major flare-ups. When you say curfew, you should remember that Israeli Jews, the citizens of Israel, are at home. They've been asked not to go out today either. So, first of all, this is a measure of protection. But secondly, we've also said to the Intifada leadership that takes its cue from the PLO. The PLO, as you know, just announced that it would embark on a global campaign of terror against America, siding with Saddam Hussein. We've said, look, if you do that against us, we will take action. But other than that, responsible or quiet, peace-loving civilians have nothing to worry about.
Benjamin Netanyahu, this is Bernard Shaw, CNN in Baghdad, and I apologize if I sound a little scruffy around the edges, but I've been up for approaching 2 days now, and I apologize for that if I sound scruffy around the edges.
May I say, Bernie, may I say before you ask me that you don't sound scruffy at all, and that the CNN crew is deserving a lot of admiration. Believe me, everybody's watching you and admiring what you're doing.
Well, thank you very much, sir. I really appreciate that on behalf of every woman and man here at CNN. I have to ask you, from what I know and what I've studied, what I've read, what I've heard, and what's been told me, I have to ask you this question. Based on what is happening, what do you see Saddam Hussein doing? He's trying to come up on television and address his people. What do you see Saddam Hussein doing now?
I don't know. I can only guess because no one knows the mind of this man. No one knows how he allowed Iraq to be dragged into a confrontation with the greatest power on earth, with a sophisticated air force, with tremendous planes and pilots and electronics, both human and technological superiority of unquestionable character. How did he do it? We don't know. Why is he doing it now? We don't know. Perhaps he thinks he can be another Nasser, that is, turn defeat into victory. Maybe try to speak and incite the Arab masses. If he's betting on that, I think he's going to fail here as well.
Benjamin Netanyahu, Foreign Minister, Deputy Foreign Minister of Israel, I'm going to ask you this question, and it's going to put you on the spot. You know me, you and I have sat opposite each other having coffee, and we've had lunch, and we've had dinner, and we've sat opposite each other in the studio at CNN in Washington. I'm going to ask you this question, and please, I am not being maudlin. I'm trying to extract from you, for our viewers, a feeling. I don't know that, I'm sure a majority of our viewers do not know that you lost a brother, a member of your family, in the raid at Entebbe. And when you heard the United States informed your government 1 hour before this massive wave after wave bombing run went over us, I want to know, what did you think? What did you feel? Did you think of your brother? Did you think of Entebbe? What were your thoughts? And I ask you that question, sir. I totally respect you, but I ask you that question to try to get into your mind to see what was going on in the head of Benjamin Netanyahu.
I'm not going to discuss when we were notified, but when we did learn about the results, I can say very clearly that my first thought was relief, that the threat to Israel, the threat to my country, to my people, has been, if not removed, significantly reduced. And no, I was not thinking about my own personal history at that point, very frankly. I was thinking about the fact that we have had here moments of anxiety, and that in any war, one doesn't know in this country when you face the brink of disaster. We have fashioned here a capacity to defend ourselves against tremendous odds, and perhaps the world now understands what we've been facing. But one never knows, after all these preparations, after the superb intelligence that we have and the wonderful army that we have, one never knows if everything was done until it's actually tested. And when we saw the action, magnificent action, by the United States and its allies in this instance, then my first feeling was relief. It's all right. It's certainly not as bad as we thought. It may be even very good.
And may I apologize to you, Benjamin Netanyahu, for being so personal, but you know me, and I have to ask you what you feel down there in the solar plexus, and if you were in any way offended, I apologize, but you and I have always looked each other in the eye and talked face to face. One last question before you go. More than, well, I won't say that, cancel that, but based on all the Israeli intelligence on Saddam Hussein, if you had to go by what you know, what would be your prediction of his behavior from this point on? And as I speak to you, keep in mind that these raids are continuing here in Baghdad.
I don't know. I simply cannot make an assessment. I think this man has defied all reasonable expectations. And if one deals in unreasonable expectations, then everything is possible. One would hope that he would draw at this stage the appropriate conclusion and bring an end to the suffering of his own people. They're the ones who, as you eloquently described, are paying the price. They would like to see an end to it. I think everybody would like to see an end to it. But whether he wants to see an end to it, that I don't know. I really don't understand him fully.
Deputy Foreign Minister of the Nation of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, thank you very, very much.